Here's the thing. You get to be the main character in your life, all right? Nobody else is writing your story. And it took me way too long to learn that. Now, if I could go back and have a conversation with my 20-year-old self, I would have a lot to say, and I want to save you from making the same mistakes that I did, so let's talk. The first thing you need to understand is your job is never going to love you back, okay? I grew up broke. I grew up working retail and store level, and I always thought the people working in head office, right, in the ivory towers, that is where I needed to be. And if I could just get there, then I would have everything. So I went to school, I got the job, I got there, and for a couple of months, it was everything. I was on top of the fucking world. But then it set in that this is just another job. What I wish I knew is that you work to live, you don't live to work. Your job is not your identity. It's simply a way that you make money, and then you use that money to build your dream life based on what's actually important to you. So I'm in this job, and everyone always told me, the most important thing is that you are networking. So I had a female VP, and I was like, amazing. I want to be her, right? I want the corner office. I want the good pay. I want the fancy title. So I asked her to sit down and have lunch with me. And that lunch absolutely changed my perspective of everything. So she told me two really important things. First was a story about her personal family life, and she was telling me how she never got to see her kids grow up because she was always working. And her husband was always having to tell her two boys, hey, I'm sorry that you don't get to see mommy a lot, but we have all of these nice things because mommy works so hard. And she essentially said she traded those years of her life that she could never get back to climb this ladder, and she thought it would fulfill her, but it never did. And now she compared that to a story about her sister. So she said that her sister and her husband actually moved to Mexico. They moved to Mexico with their kids. They live inexpensively, and they live like a soft and slow life. And this opened me up to the idea of, holy shit, like that's possible. Not only do I not have to stay in my hometown, but I could go anywhere. I could do anything that makes me happy. And now another thing that I learned was that who you hang out with matters so much. You become the sum of the people that you hang out with. And a lot of us don't realize, but we are surrounded by crabs in a bucket. These are people that make it seem like they have your best interests at heart, but as soon as you try to break out of what their norm is, they'll be uncomfortable with your growth, and they will do everything to try to pull you back down. So think of this like, imagine you start trying to eat healthy, but everyone else around you is not living that same lifestyle. So every time you choose to have a bowl of fruit or a salad, they say, just eat a burger. Your growth makes them uncomfortable, so they want to bring you back down to their comfort level because you doing something different calls out all the ways that they could have done something different in their life but chose not to. And so this is where boundaries become really important. And growing up, I always thought boundaries were a bad thing, but they're actually really, really great. They are telling other people how to have a good relationship with you. And the only people that get angry at you having boundaries are the ones that benefited from you not having them, right? If you say no and someone else gets mad, this is so important. It's not about you. It's about them. And when it comes to money, you absolutely need to know that you do not need to sacrifice everything you love to get ahead. That is not the way that you are going to build wealth or build the life that you want. People have this idea that getting rich or becoming financially stable or successful means giving up everything they love and living a really boring life. But I'm telling you, I went from $40,000 in debt to millionaire at 30, and I still traveled, I still shopped, I still ate out. It's not about giving up everything that makes you happy. It's about getting strategic. It's about filling the gaps in your knowledge, right? You know how to do things this way, but the rich do things differently. You just need to fill that gap. Another thing I learned was that wealth tactic is really important, like learning how to invest, learning the steps to paying down your debt so that you pay the least amount of money in interest as possible. Those are so important. However, none of that will work if you don't address the mindset and the behaviors and the money management cash flow stuff that got you to where you are right now. Addressing all of the muck beneath the surface gives you the funds available to be able to invest to grow your wealth. So yes, while I would not be where I am today if I didn't learn how to invest, if I never had the funds to invest, I wouldn't have been able to invest. And one more thing that I would say to my 20-year-old self would be to stop chasing the highs that you get from buying things, thinking that this next purchase will finally make you the person that you always wanted to be, because it won't. That is called aspirational spending, my friend, and companies and brands spend a lot of money on marketing to make you think that when you buy this product, you're going to be more popular, you're going to be seen as more successful, more cool. But those products will never change who you are. It's just going to steal money out of your bank account. The real way to become the main character and live in that authentic energy in your life is to figure out what your values are. You as an individual. What's important to you? And then say no to everything else that is not in alignment with that. If it's not serving you, growing you, or making you happy, it's gotta go, because you are the main character. You are the main character. Start living like it.